Pahrumph's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
Welcome to News 46, your local news station. I'm Deanna O'Donnell, and this is your Week in Review. The president of the Pahrump Valley Horsemen's Association, Stephen Lee, has apparently been placed under arrest by the Nye County Sheriff's Department for alleged charges of embezzlement. The Nye County Sheriff's Office has issued an official press release regarding Stephen Michael Lee, age 48, of Pahrump. In March of 2011, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies began to investigate an allegation of fraud involving Stephen Michael Lee, president of a local organization known as Pahrump Valley Horsemen's Association, or PVHA, after board members contacted the Nye County Sheriff's Office with several concerns, which included missing funds and Lee failing to properly register the PVHA as a nonprofit organization. Lee reportedly resigned his position after being confronted by PVHA board members. A subsequent investigation by Nye County Sheriff's Office detectives revealed that Lee made several unexplained and questionable transfers of PVHA funds into his own personal bank account during the term of his position as the PVHA president. While the total amount of allegedly embezzled funds was identified as relatively low, Lee failed to provide any explanations for his actions. He was arrested and booked at the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center on one felony charge of embezzlement with a bail amount of $5,000. The Pahrump Valley Horsemen's Association membership has since reportedly split up, with some former members now meeting under a new name, the Pahrump Valley Horsemen's and Livestock Association, or PVHLA, and has registered as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. We have a couple of updates concerning some continuing stories we have covered. On May 1st, 2 victims were attacked at a home on Donner Street. One man died as a result of being stabbed multiple times. The other, a female, was transported via Mercy Air to UMC Trauma Center in extremely critical condition. 5 suspects were arrested. In criminal court, Judge Tina Brisbell has set their bail. In the case of the double stabbing, which resulted in the murder of one person, 56-year-old Michael Frasher, and the other attempted murder on 21-year-old Antoinette Bell, who is still hospitalized from stab wounds she received on May 1st on Donner Street, Judge Tina Brisbell has set bail for 28-year-old Tiffany Rubio, 38-year-old Victoria Garcia, and 34-year-old Michael Maxwell at $20,000. 38-year-old Troy Jackson and 22-year-old Charles Eubanks are being held without bail. Both victims were stabbed more than a dozen times. The reason behind the stabbings are still not known at this time. However, the Nye County Sheriff's Department have stated that the suspects were under the influence of methamphetamine at the time of their arrest. The preliminary hearing is set for June 3rd at 10 a.m. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Concerning the murder and attempted murder that occurred on Donner Street, according to a Nye County Sheriff's press release, both victims were stabbed multiple times. They were transported via Mercy Air to UMC Trauma Center. The male victim, Michael Frazier, succumbed to his injuries, while the female, Antoinette Bell, was listed in extremely critical condition. We have a report from the home where the attack occurred, speaking with Antoinette's mother, Barbara Bell. Random crimes rarely occur here in Pahrump. That's why on May 1st, when there was a double stabbing on Donner Street, the town was in shock. Police say that they're not sure of why this crime occurred. One person succumbed to their injuries. That is 56-year-old Michael Frazier. 22-year-old Antoinette Bell was transported with multiple stab wounds via Mercy Air to UMC Trauma Center. We caught up with Antoinette's mother, Barbara Bell, this morning to speak to her about this crime, the relationship between the suspects and herself and Antoinette, including her relationship with Michael Frazier, who is, as she puts it, her daughter's boyfriend and her boyfriend as well. We're going to speak to Barbara Bell.
Well, all I know is that I went to the stage stop to go sing at the jam session, and I got a phone call from my other daughter, Priscilla. She's 14, and she goes, Antoinette's just been stabbed, and I didn't know by who or by what, so I got a ride home by one of the people that were at the stage stop, and then I called the police department, and they said that you can't go home because it's all blocked off. And I said, that's what you think. I'm going to see my daughter and Michael to see if everything's okay. And so they said, you're going to put me in jail and put my daughter in foster care. I said, for what? We didn't even do anything. Well, you want to take a blood test? I said, no, I don't. I'm not taking one in front of her. You want me to take one right in front of her? I said, no. Okay, we'll put you in jail. We're going to put her in another home.
They meant a blood test to check for drugs?
Yeah, huh?
And the suspects came up positive for methamphetamine. Was other people here using the drugs?
What other people?
Any other people in this house?
I don't know what they were doing. I wouldn't give out that information.
Were they thinking that you were under the influence at the time?
Only because that I was dehydrated and out of breath, and I needed some water, and they thought I was on something.
You told me a few minutes ago that this stopped you from using drugs.
I said, I stopped. I just said, I stopped, period, of anything.
After Michael died?
Yeah, my life is going to be changing, and I want to keep pushing my music, the music that me and him did together, the Bob Stop and the Eyes of a Child.
Tell me about your relationship with Michael.
We were really close, me, Antoinette, and Michael, and Priscilla, and Bob, my husband. Me and Michael, we known each other for like 25 years. And Antoinette and Michael were hooking up. He loved her and she loved him.
You said that your daughter Antoinette and Michael were boyfriend and girlfriend, but you are also Michael's girlfriend, even though you're married.
Right. We were really close together. Bob knew that, and that was Bob's best friend, Michael.
The Nye County Sheriffs have issued a press release alleging that in the early morning hours on Sunday at approximately 1:30 in the morning, Nye County Sheriff's deputies and detectives responded to 9600 South Squaw Valley Road on the south side of Pahrump for a report of an alleged sexual assault. According to the press release, deputies learned that the residents at this address had hosted a late-night slumber party for approximately 20 juveniles, both male and female, all under the age of 14. Conflicting statements made during the initial questioning at the scene had resulted in false allegations of sexual assault, and was subsequently discovered that several of the juveniles had engaged in lewd behavior with each other after being furnished with alcoholic beverages by two adult women who were present at the party. Several juveniles were found to be intoxicated as a result. It was further discovered that 6 of the juveniles, some of them also under the influence of alcohol, had left the scene on foot just prior to the arrival of Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, but were later located safely at home and in 2 cases walking along a road miles from the scene. Detectives later discovered that the primary host of the party, 20-year-old Brianda Lopez, and a second adult woman had furnished the juveniles with alcoholic beverages and then provided false information in an effort to cover up what had occurred. None of the adults are believed to be involved in the lewd activities. Lopez was arrested yesterday and booked into the Nye County Sheriff's Office detention. She is being held on the bail amount of $33,137. Her charges are obstructing a public officer, contributing to the delinquency of minors, furnishing alcoholic beverages to minors, conspiracy to commit a crime, child endangerment and neglect, 6 counts. 10 juveniles were turned over to the Nye County Juvenile Probation on various charges, including child in need of supervision, minors consuming alcoholic beverages, lewdness with a minor under the age of 14, juvenile probation violations as well. The second adult woman, Lauren Berry, a resident of North Las Vegas, apparently left the scene. Detectives are attempting to locate her for questioning and is apparently facing similar charges. Anyone with information pertaining to this case is urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Department at 751-7000. A juvenile sustained head and face injuries last Saturday when he avoided being hit by a vehicle on Linda Street. A single vehicle accident on Saturday night around 8 p.m. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene along with Nye County Sheriff's deputies to find one juvenile male on the pavement on Linda Street near Black. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue checked out the juvenile on scene, who apparently stated that he had avoided a vehicle hitting him when he was riding his motorized scooter down the street, and his scooter went off into the bushes, and the juvenile hit his head on the pavement. He was not wearing a helmet at the time. He was transported with head injuries to Desert View Hospital. Nye County Sheriff's deputies did not find any vehicle on scene. If you have any information, you are urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Department at 751-7000. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Stay tuned for more local news. Keep it here with your Week in Review.
Pahrump's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
Dan Chinhofen spoke to us regarding what he says are some misconceptions on the commissioner's agenda.
Well, there's actually two items. The first is room tax money for Amargosa to set up so they can get room tax money. The second item is to change the definition of town so it'll be easier for us and for the town to have their ordinances enforced by the sheriff. Nothing could be further from the truth than the county is taking the town's money, and also that I sponsored the bill to take the town's money. That's totally untrue too. I sponsored to have the public hearing on this to make it easier for those items to be enforced. That's all it really is. Come out to the meeting and, listen.
Do you think that this is going to be pulled from the agenda, though, at this point?
It might be pulled because the DA, apparently I hear now today that he's not going to be in town, and we would like him there to answer all those questions, so that everybody feels comfortable with it. It'll probably, we'll see, but I'll probably motion to have it put off to the 21st. And again, that doesn't mean I'm sponsoring the item. I'm just setting a date and time for a public hearing. Public hearing is where everybody gets to be heard and have all their questions answered. And any questions you have, call me, call your commissioner. The rumor mill is great. A lie can make it around the world before the truth even has its boots on. It's an old saying, and that's kind of what's happened here. So everybody's upset. What I think they should really be concerned about is on Thursday at 7 p.m. at the town annex, the town will be hearing their budget. And part of their budget is raising our property taxes 50% to the cap. So its town annex might hold 50 people if you stack them on top of each other. I don't know why it's not held in the other room, but in the I with plenty of room there. But I'm going to go to that. I would like to see the justification for raising us to the cap, to the limit. That's what they've asked the state for. So we'll see what happens with that too.
And so we're urging people to go to this meeting on Thursday night so that you can give your opinion in this. And for more information, how can they should contact the town board members on this item?
Yeah, contact your town board member. Ask them what it is. Are they raising, that's what the state has told us. That's what some of the backup shows, what little there is. Our budget will be heard on Monday. We're looking to cut or save $5 million. We're not raising taxes on anything. The town wants to raise to the limit our property tax.
Thank you so much, Dan. The Nye County Commissioners meeting was held on May 16th, and one of the items of discussion was item number 11. It was a call to action, the discussion, deliberation, and possible decision regarding reconsidering an action taken on the April 5th meeting to approve a commercial water and sewer expanded service agreement with Utilities, Inc. of Central Nevada for the purpose of the Nye County Jail Facility project in the amount of $760,000.69.
In front of the PUC, the spokesperson for UICN said that they have they don't have any need for any expanded sewage capacity or water capacity for the next 20 years. Well, I didn't hear that until after we had approved paying a fee of $250,000, $187,000 just for sewage capacity fee to UICN. So we had an agenda item today to ask them to come forward and answer it. And they didn't show up when the item was heard. Just towards the end of the meeting, one of the spokespersons showed up, but the chairman decided not to hear it at that time because she was notified earlier. So
What do you expect to get from that? I mean, if you bring her back here, and I mean that's quite a bit of money. It looks like it's about $247,000.
Yeah.
What do you think she'll come back and say, hey, you know what, we do need it? It was just misspoken at the UPC?
She spoke under oath at the PUC, and so and do I think they're going to give us the $250,000 back? I highly doubt it. It just and we're still waiting to hear what, to an explanation. Something about it's in their tariffs. They can charge this. And if they can, it seems ridiculous. If you have the capacity to serve a customer and they're going to pay you on a monthly basis for your service, but up front you want $250,000 before you start their service, seems a bit much to me. And but all I'm looking for is clarification on it. How does that happen? How can you charge a customer that much more, particularly in light of the fact that her statement last before the PUC was that her first concern is for the community? And if it is, well, then donate these fees back to the county so we can maybe keep an employee or maybe get another road done or something else rather than just sitting in their coffers.
There's a movement that is asking to take over them so that it becomes a county-ran department. Is there any movement on that? Is there anything?
There's nothing I know of us taking them over. We couldn't afford what they're asking. If they want to sell it for what they bought it for, I'm sure we could work something out. I prefer private industry whenever you can get it. I'm a capitalist. I'm a conservative. But if a public-private partnership would work, that'd be fine. If they would be more friendly to the community, that would be fine. But when's the last time you heard of them donating anything to anybody in this community? I would like to see them be more proactive in the community. And if they don't need that kind of, I can't use that word, that kind of money up front, then how about letting some business and even the county? This is people's money. I mean, county money is not come out of the air, it's tax money. How about you go easy on us too?
So you're suggesting that the people in Pahrump out there, the good citizens of Pahrump, to get together and do a good town hall meeting maybe on this or something to express their disconcern over the fees that they're charging at Pahrump Utilities?
Yeah, we've had a lot of Utilities Inc. At Utilities Inc. We've had a lot of people contact us. Commissioner Brasky, more than anybody, has had people contact him with concerns about UICN and their fees and their practices. So if you've got complaints, get a hold of PUC. The more people that complain, the more we might be able to get things changed.
Gotcha.
The Nye County Commissioners met on Monday to review their final budget. Butch Boraski spoke to us about the actions being taken to reduce excessive spending.
Well, I think it came out quite well. And first, let me say it's my pleasure to have the boss here finally from my favorite TV station, Channel 4146 in Pahrump. I think Pam Webster put together a fantastic package for us. It made it quite easy for us to do, and we're not going to have to go out and lay a whole bunch of people off so that we'll have jobs secured. And to me, I don't think we could have got a better package to work with.
A couple key points that came out. One was a work furlough for the employees of Nye County, and the second one was the Nye County Sheriff actually came across with a big, huge cut in his department itself. Can you expand on those two?
Yes, I think everybody stood up to plate, especially the sheriff. The sheriff voluntarily came forward with about $500,000 worth of savings. I think all of the associations stepped up and did their part by giving up a little something so that we could pass this budget the way it is right now.
Okay, and the work furlough, how will that work out with the staff?
Well, I believe staff's going to look at possibly having that as many facilities as we can, do it all on one day a month where we could shut the buildings down. Now, if the courts might be an exception, obviously the sheriff is a separate operation. But as far as the basic essential services, we should be able to shut everything down one day a month and try to get a set date. And that will save money, too, by heating, air conditioning, not having lights on and so on, and building maintenance. So that was discussed in there, and Pam's going to look at that to try to make that a set day every month as much as possible.
Brokering your own fuel, how will that play out, do you think, in the community itself? Do you think you can buy it cheap enough to where you can turn around and sell it or use it for yourselves without having to incur the taxes and costs that are associated with it, or will those still come along with it, the taxes?
Well, hopefully when this new Maverick station comes in, maybe we can work with them. They're notorious for cutting costs and actually supplying U.S. oil-based gas, which means they're the only one in the system, and I hope we can work with them on that. And we do supply fuel for not just the county, but the town and other government agencies, the fire department, and we're pretty much the fuel location for all the agencies within the area. So it's just not county.
So the budget, you feel, is pretty well balanced so that you guys will be able to operate well without really hurting the county itself?
Right. I believe we got a good budget balanced, and then hopefully economy picks up a little more. The town board is obviously looking at bringing in some projects for the fairgrounds property, and maybe we can get some more jobs in here, and that'll boost our revenue streams, and we won't have to worry about unhidden circumstances that may come up in any budget. But right now, I think Pam's done a fantastic job, like she always does, and I think that's a great budget to work with.
Thank you.
Some of the other methods of reduction are a $1.3 million salary reduction, the savings of $223,000 by removing unfilled positions, and much more. The result of these reductions is a $5.1 million savings in the general fund. We spoke to Gary Hollis about the Nye County Commissioner's agenda, Public Hearing B, more specifically regarding the control of animal shelter and about some of the confusion regarding the wording on the agenda items.
We've been trying to do this animal thing, and the courts came to saying that we're doing the animal control and the shelter, but the ordinance is with the town, and we do all the work, and the revenue goes over to the town. But that's not the big thing. If they want this, then I got an agenda item, probably coming on the next item, to give them animal control and the shelter, and they can run it, and then we won't have to do this B.
So if they get it, they run it, and then they say, hey, you know what, county, we're having some difficulties here, we need some money. What do you say?
Well, it depends if we had the money, and right now we don't. And we're going to have to do some drastic cuts all over the county. So, it's a word of redefining the town. I don't see that this agenda item, other than they want to play with words and put chapter 269 in there. And that's not what we're going to do.
We're going to see something on the next agenda to finalize this once and for all.
Yeah, either that or they're going to repeal their ordinance so that we can take care of the matter. There's no sense in us taking the time of going to court with these animal hoarders and the judges saying that, you don't have me standing or it's the town of Pahrump or whatever. Let them go or whatever they do. So I'm just frustrated that they're playing words with the town of Pahrump. With the town guideline or redefining the word town. I don't see any problem with this. It has nothing to do with their business license or their room tax or anything. It's not what this is for. And for some of these town board members putting out emails saying that the county is taking our our room tax. The county is going to take our business license. That's just downright because they can't read a simple agenda item.
Worried about the content of that item
Well,
says more than what's
redefining town. So, and the top one says that we're setting up ordinances for business license or room tax for the town of Amargosa. This is what the town of Amargosa asked for.
I didn't even know you were back here.
But they see this one and then they see that one, redefining the town. They think we're redefining them back to, an unincorporated town. That takes the vote of the people to do that. I don't know where they come up with this stuff. The DA wants to clean the definition of town so that we don't have any problems in court.
So it really comes down to this. The DA, who we have in
that
the
you
position
elected,
that,
you
that we
elected
elected
him.
is now saying, let's clean up our books. Let's make
Yeah,
sure
we're
what's
cleaning up-
clearly defined between the
right.
Pahrump and what's clearly defined between the county. What county's
Or-
county, what Pahrum's county.
Or it mentions unincorporated towns. So he's trying to get the unincorporated towns and the town board form of governments and redefining that so they're not equal. Town of Pahrump make their own decisions. The advisory boards, unincorporated towns, we have to okay all the decisions that they make.
They're worried about losing it, I think. Is that
Well,
what I'm understanding?
from some of these people that run around here talking, yeah, I'd be worried about it too. But I'm just a lonely county commissioner trying to do the people's business. You know?
Very good.
Thank you.
You bet.
The town had this to say about the issue. The town had an issue with the redefinition of the town and one of the phrases in the ordinance. One of our attorneys talked with the district attorney, and we are confident that we will be happy with the ordinance once they make the changes that we have requested. The Nye County Sheriffs held an open house last week for those interested in becoming a reserve sheriff's deputy. Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall explains.
What we're trying to do is augment our regular patrol staff with reserve officers. Reserves perform a variety of function all throughout law enforcement throughout the United States. We currently have 5 active reserves with the Nye County Sheriff's Office. They are fully certified to state standards, and they can do everything that a full-time peace officer does. They just do not get the compensation that a full-time officer gets.
You were saying that we're hoping to expand our reserves here in Pahrump, and you mentioned 100 of them. We have that many openings that we're looking to fill, or what?
Yes, the reserve deputies, because the only thing that we pay on them is workers' compensation, which I'm not sure, it's less than $2,000 a year per person. That enables us to take a volunteer and use them in a way that we can have more volunteers than full-timers. We can never replace full-timers with volunteers because we control the full-timers. The volunteers can walk off the job anytime that they want. So my goal is that as many people want to volunteer for the sheriff's office, we'll put them to work. Volunteerism is the backbone of America. It has been since the colonial days, and we hope to take the manpower that we have in the Pahrump Valley and throughout Nye County and translate that into a volunteer workforce.
I know that we have the Sheriff's Auxiliary, but we're talking about reservists, which are basically look and have the full function of an officer.
That's correct. There is no difference in our reserves. They meet the Nevada Peace Officer Standards training requirements. They meet the Nevada Administrative Code requirements. There is no difference between a reserve deputy sheriff and a full-time deputy sheriff.
There's no openings right now at the Sheriff's Department, but they are looking, you're talking about some buyouts that will possibly be happening with 8 officers, and up to the county commissioners if we're going to be filling those positions or not.
That's correct. The county has a employee buyback program where they'll buy service credits for the employee, or there's a cash settlement. You read about that in the paper today. I think Henderson, the city of Henderson, does that program as well. And the idea of the program is to reduce your overall cost on employment because salaries and benefits are the major expense of an organization. You can contact Deputy Brian Jonas at 751-7000. They can contact me at 751-7000, or they can attend one of our reserve nights, which will be posted with the local news media.
Hypertension or high blood pressure damages the arteries, over time causing them to narrow and become dysfunctional. This can lead to heart disease, stroke, and kidney disease. Roughly about 30% of U.S. adults have high blood pressure. Hypertension has been called a silent killer because it often has no symptoms. Dr. George Slaparis from Southwest Medical Associates held a seminar at the Pahrump Nugget to inform the public about this deadly but treatable disease.
It's not an uncommon disease state. 72 million people in the United States have high blood pressure. And we know that there are certain traits or habits that cause it, and we can probably all guess them. These are called your risk factors. Just by virtue of getting older, a male is greater than 45 or female is greater than 55. And unfortunately, though, now with the epidemic of childhood obesity and earlier diabetes, we're seeing people in their 20s with very difficult to control high blood pressure. But generally, it's as we get older. Over half of all Americans age 60 have high blood pressure. But it doesn't have to be a routine part of getting older, and it certainly doesn't have to remain high, because there's a lot of things we can do to keep it at a normal level. Race and ethnicity also play a role. African Americans have higher rates of high blood pressure than Caucasians or Latins. And they tend to get high blood pressure earlier in life. A lot of reasons for that. It's often more severe. They're less likely to be aware that they have it. They have more difficulty achieving blood pressure control. We actually know now that there are some medications that don't work well in that population, so we have to tailor blood pressure therapy for everyone, but especially for different ethnicities. And they tend to have higher rates of premature death and complications from heart attack and stroke. If you're overweight or obese, you're at risk for high blood pressure. Overweight means that you have excess body mass, either from muscle, bone, or fat, where obesity just means you're overweight from excess fat. So there is a difference. I don't know if it's an important difference, but there's a difference. Gender, men, we're lucky. We're much more likely to have high blood pressure than women. Women are better at finding out that they have high blood pressure and getting treatment up to the age of 59. Turns out once women get to the age of 60, they're just as likely as men to be treated or be aware that they have high blood pressure. But if they've got to the age of 60 and they haven't been diagnosed yet, they're harder to treat because it's likely that they've had it for a longer period of time. And the longer you have it and it goes untreated, the more difficult it is to get under control.
Seminars will be hosted by Southwest Medical at the Prump Nugget. They will be held from 10 to 11 a.m. on the following days. June 9th, regarding breast health, not just for women. June 20th, fall prevention. July 21st, arthritis, and July 28th, hypertension, the sequel. You can see more on our hypertension part 1 on our YouTube page. For more information, you can call Southwest Medical at 727-6400. Keep it here to find out all the top news over this past week with your Week in Review.
Pahrumps' most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
Welcome back. Their goal was $20,000, the goal which gets them a lot closer to the facility's doors opening. That, of course, doesn't include operating cost once it's open. The final tally after last weekend's radiothon at Kenai, $20,660. Symphony Animal Foundation just took a giant step forward in its mission to save the animals.
Up to $17,000.
Great work, Pahrump.
Thank you, Pahrump. It's going very well. We are in our second day. We started yesterday at 7 a.m. and we are going to 6 o'clock tonight, and we'll be back at it 7 o'clock tomorrow morning as well.
Wow. We are at a big number right now, though.
We are at $17,000.
Wow. And we needed $20,000 to open up the shelter?
We need it for construction costs for power.
Mm-hmm.
So between the impact fees and what it's going to cost to actually get the power and to the property and the buildings, we're looking at $20,000.
So will that actually get it going, or we're going to need some more operating costs to get it started?
Well, you know, we've been doing our fundraisers, which will take care of some of the smaller costs, but $20,000 isn't going to get us open, but it's certainly going to get us a lot closer to opening.
When we initially opened, how many animals are we housing?
We are, you know what, it's hard to tell at this point because I don't have all the buildings in place at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure, and until I start fencing off for the bigger animals, I don't know, but we will be so proactive in animal placement and animal adoption that it's going to be continuous intake and outgoing of animals. So it's going to be a cycle.
You are already placing animals right now, though, aren't you?
We are. As a matter of fact, yesterday we placed 130.
Wow. How did you manage to do that?
Well, there was a property that was going out of business, a breeder, and they had 130 dogs, and so they reached out to us, and we reached out to other entities, and all those dogs do have a home. So 130 dogs were placed yesterday.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You are going to be right across the street from the animal shelter, right?
No, we were going to originally, but Ray Wolfenstein has donated 10 acres of land, and that is actually behind Best Western. There is a gravel pit, and we are right next to that gravel pit.
Wow.
So that's where we're going to be.
Wonderful, and that's real close to where you're located right now, so people can donate all the time. They can drop off a check at Wolfie's, can't they?
They can. I work at Best Western in Wolfie's, so they can always drop a check off there. The front desk is open 24 hours, so certainly timing is convenient for any shift that you may work. And you can still always send money to K9 Radio at 1230 Dutch Ford Lane 89048. Karen is very good about taking donations for the foundation and getting that money to us.
And as far as working with the animal shelter, are you going to be getting animals from there that they were labeled to be euthanized, or what's going on with that?
That is my goal. It is my goal by opening Symphony Animal Foundation that we will transition our shelter, which is a kill shelter, to a no-kill shelter. So what I would like to do is take the animals that they have slated to be killed, take them over to our facility, and then place them in forever homes.
K9's Radio, Karen Jackson, and County Commissioners Gary Hollis and Dan Chinhoffen spoke to us about what they are compelled to reach out to the animals here in Pahrump to help the no-kill shelter Symphony Animal Foundation get underway.
It is to benefit Symphony Animal Foundation. We must get this facility open, and we figured the radiothon was the quickest way to make it happen.
And Commissioner Hollis, you're here?
Yes, this is one of the fundraisers I do along with the Senior Center and Veteran Services. I support Symphony Animal Foundation. We got to stop doing what we're doing and killing animals for no reason. So I tried everything else. So this facility, I think, is the answer to our problem. And Symphony Animal Foundation will be going out and to the community and advocating spade and neutering and doing things that commissioners can't do. I mean, we don't have time for that. So this would be a good thing, and we just need everybody to be responsible pet owners. And if you don't let your dog spay and neuter, that's the answer to our problems. And if they do that, we won't need to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars rounding dogs up and cats and such forth. So we spend a lot of money on just rounding up animals and keeping animals in the shelter. So
I know you both feel very passionately about this. Karen, you've kind of taken the helm as far as trying to get people to donate as much as they can and help out Lorraine Harper on this mission. And tell me about the passion that you both feel about this.
I'm an animal lover. Anybody that listens to me knows. And I read the animals at the shelter that are available. And when I'm reading litters of kittens and puppies and older dogs, and then the list comes in again, and they're euthanized for no reason. We can stop it.
And yourself?
Well, I'm not an environmentalist, or I'm not into that kind of thing, but Karen Jackson and Lorraine Harper sat down with me and said, Commissioner, you've tried everything else. We think that this is going to work. And to be truthful, I have a lot of faith in Lorraine Harper and Karen Jackson. So I said, okay, you got me, and now let's go out and get the job done.
I've been happy to be part of anything I can do to help these guys out. Any shelter, all my dogs are rescues. And in having, another no-kill shelter, a good no-kill shelter, not that we don't, there are a lot of good places out there. But Lorraine's helped with a lot of things in the past that I've done with the parades and the bluegrass festivals, and just happy to support her in her endeavor. And I think it'll be good for the community.
Filmmakers from all over the world have submitted their work, and the 6th annual High Desert Shorts International Film Festival is just days away. Tony Mendoza tells us about this year's festivities.
Yes, it's our 6th annual one, still being held here in Pahrump. Again, the Pahrump Nugget Casino is going to be hosting that again for us, so we're real grateful about that.
This is so much fun. How many entries do we have so far?
We have 40 entries. We had about 189 submissions. So this year, we were very, very strict on the quality of the film. So when people come out, they're going to see some real quality films, really quality.
What's the criteria for shorts?
We do up to 40 minutes. Our genres that we're covering is comedy, drama, horror, and sci-fi, and then we have an animation section. So.
And are we doing the music videos this year? Or?
No music videos this year.
And so I know that your film, tell everybody a little bit about your film, but we're not going to be showing it this year.
Right. My film's entitled Pitching Hope. I shot it last year after getting back from Afghanistan. We were going to attempt to show it here at this festival, but it was brought to my attention some of the requirements to submit to Sundance, in addition to some production drawbacks or what have you, some things that we had to overcome. So instead, what we're going to do is for the public, since they supported us, we'll have sort of the making of and behind the scenes sort of thing. So it should be really entertaining.
And so after you submit it to Sundance, we'll have a viewing here in Pahrump?
Pahrump is going to have their own individual private viewing because they've been so supportive of what I've done and everybody coming out and the community and different businesses. Absolutely. We're going to make sure we take care of Pahrump. Guaranteed.
And when we say International Film Festival, we are really talking about an International Film Festival. There are submissions from all over the world.
All over the world, every continent except for Antarctica. And we're actually going, I got an email last night that a filmmaker out of Australia will be in the States around that weekend and will be out here in attendance. So.
This is so much fun. People can come and watch all these films at the Nugget. We have a great screen and great sound going on there. So it's really something that you want to prepare for, just to have a fantastic, I believe it's 3 days. How long is it?
We have 2 days of filming, and then the third day on Sunday, the 29th, will be the award ceremony. And that in itself is just an opportunity to put on a finer suit and come out and just enjoy a little bit of culture. So.
How can people find out more about the High Desert Shorts International Film Festival?
Real simply, just going to the website, www.highdesertshortsiff.com, and at that point, it'll show the times and the listings of the films, and if they're family friendly or if they're a little bit more on the risky side. So.
And we're going to have some of the actual filmmakers here. I know that we're going to have kind of a meet and greet.
Absolutely. Saturday morning from 10 to 12, we're going to have an informal meet and greet with the filmmakers, the kids that were part of our youth camp that we conducted a few months ago, and we're trying to get an online guest to talk to us Skype, so either a lawyer or a distribution company out of Oregon. And then we have filmmakers coming in from back east, I believe Wisconsin, Los Angeles, I already said, Australia. So all over, people coming in to...
So people can come meet these people, huh?
Absolutely. At 12 noon, right after our little brunch, it's going to be a press conference, and we would like to invite and welcome everybody to come out and just to shake hands and talk to these filmmakers. Everybody's really diplomatic and very open to talk to the public.
And tell everybody the dates of the High Desert Shorts International Film Festival.
The opening ceremony starts Friday, May 27th. The doors will open at 5:30. The ceremony starts at 6 p.m. and then we begin our filming, watching our films at that point. And Saturday, everything jumps off right around, I believe, 1 p.m. And then Sunday, our award ceremony at 6.
The Pahrump Valley Youth Activities Club is a new organization formed by people who recognize the need to provide summertime activities, both recreational and educational, for the youth of our valley. Tom Mechcher explains.
This is a summer program, Pahrump Valley Youth Activities, a brand new program. We're just getting underway with our nonprofit. Basically what we're doing is we're taking the place of the Boys and Girls Club, which unfortunately shut down last summer. So we're going to offer education and recreational services to kids aged 6 to 12 over at Floyd Elementary School this summer. Going to kick off on June 20th for the 10-week program, and there's going to be an open enrollment period on Friday, June 3rd up at the Prump Nugget from 3 till 8 p.m. So what parents will be able to do, so they're able to enroll their children in that age group for the program, and we're going to offer basically three different program times. There's going to be, they can enroll for a 3-week period, a 6-week period, or the full 10-week period, and there is a small fee for each one of those. For 3 weeks it's $25. For 6 weeks it's $40, and for the full 10-week program it's $80. So that will help us, generate a little bit of revenue to help offset some of the costs that we're putting out in the program.
We're running a fundraiser to help support this.
Yeah, there's a big fundraiser on Sunday, June 5th. Prump Nugget has graciously indicated that they want to really jump out front and do a poker fundraiser for us. They're going to do a big event that day. We're looking for 80 players during the day, and we're actively in the community now seeking players. So anybody who wants to play poker, enjoys playing poker, please sign up for the PVYA fundraiser. It'll kick off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on June 5th, and doors will open at noon. I also believe for anybody who's not real comfortable with poker, they're going to do a 1-hour clinic as well, so that you can get more comfortable.
People can donate to this right now?
They can, absolutely. Donations are gladly acceptable. What we're doing right now, our 501c3 is still in the application process, and that takes quite a while through the federal government. There's an application. So we're actually working under the umbrella of Nye Communities Coalition, and they're a very well established and an outstanding nonprofit organization here in Pahrump, and they're really the reason why we're able to operate this summer, because without the coalition we wouldn't be able to put on these services as a nonprofit. And of course some very, very critical local contributions have come in as well from some businesses, from Mr. Saida, from CCA. We've also gotten very nice contributions from the Silver Tappers of Nevada. Just a lot of people that want to step up and contribute, and this is what always happens, it's for kids. So but if anybody does want to contribute, obviously I mean, they could reach me directly at the Juvenile Probation Office, Nye County Juvenile Probation. My direct number is 751-7022. They could come by and see Tom Saida up here at the dealership, or Stacy Smith is the director at Nye Communities Coalition. We're all available to do that. There's a designated account under the coalition for PVYA, so that's all separately accounted for.
Wonderful. Are you looking for teachers or donations of art supplies or things like that?
Actually, we are. If anybody has books, art supplies, any of those sort of things, games, board games, any of those material items that we could use in a group environment, use with groups of kids at the program, then we would greatly appreciate that, and look forward to that. And obviously, you can contact me there as well.
More local news with your Weekend Review when we come back from this break.
Pahrump's most watched and #1 media source for local news and weather with Deanna O'Donnell.
The Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce welcomed a new business this week. Alterations and More held a ribbon cutting at the Pahrump Chamber office.
I would like to thank everybody for coming to the ribbon cutting. I'm here with Shirley Taylor from Alterations and More. She's a brand new member to the chamber, and we would like to welcome her. So at this time, Shirley, would you cut the ribbon?
Going great. It's nice here. I'm meeting new people, and I'm excited about this.
Tell me about Alterations and More.
Alterations and More is my business. I do clothing alterations, all kinds, put zippers in and tailoring them to people's needs. Also do custom work for outdoor cushions and things like that. So I do a little bit of everything.
How long have you been in business?
About 5 years here. I do a lot of formal wear and leather work too. So
you just decided to join the chamber, and that's why we're having a ribbon cutting today.
Yes.
Tell me about why you decided to join the chamber.
Well, Patty Butler, who I've done work for quite a bit, she was talking to me, and it sounds like a great way of networking and stuff, and I just wanted to get involved in the community more.
How can people find out more about your business or get you to work on some of their items?
They can give me a call. The number is 513-8657.
Recording and television star Phil Stacy performed at Rosemary Clark Middle School to benefit Helping Hands for Jesus. We caught up with Mr. Stacy right before his packed house performance. We're here at Rosemary Clark Middle School where Phil Stacey, the American Idol star, is holding a concert to benefit Helping Hands for Jesus. We're going to speak to Phil Stacey.
Well, I came to national attention when I was on American Idol Season 6. I left top 5 week. I signed a contract with Disney, put a country record out, and then I kind of cross-lateral switched record labels over to Sony Provident, which is a Christian label, and I've been touring and recording and performing ever since.
I know, I heard that you were in the Navy.
Yes, ma'am. I was in the Navy from 2003 to 2007. I actually enlisted after September the 11th, but I got into what they call the delayed entry program, and it took a while for me to ship off, but I was a singer for the Navy rock band Pride in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was a fun job. I think I pretty much had the coolest job in the military. Pretty sure I did.
I know that your family is very religious too as well.
Well, my dad is a pastor. Both of my grandfathers are pastors as well. Actually, my father-in-law is everyone I've ever known with the word father in it. Pastor.
There you go.
You can imagine how hard it was growing up. No, it was fun, but yeah. So ministry is kind of a natural part of who I am, and it was kind of an easy transition into Christian music for me.
Well, you seem very multi-talented. We got to hear some of your sound check right here. I know you have a lot of people that are going to be performing with you as well.
Yeah, there are, and I'm just meeting them for the first time tonight. But I know we have a children's choir. We have a lady trio, kind of duo singers, and a guitar player. And then a pastor who's here singing, and I've gotten to know him pretty well tonight. Seems like a wonderful, wonderful guy. So it's really cool. You know, that's one of the benefits and perks of being on the road is you get to meet a lot of other people who love to do the same thing that you do, and you just share a lot in common. Would you be my friend?
And once again, you can go to Phil Stacey's website to get all of his music, including that release that's coming up in August. We want to thank Phil Stacey and Desiree Collins for Cup of Faith for inviting us here. This is Deanna O'Donnell at Rosemary Clark Middle School for News 46. McDonald's manager Michael Holder invites you down to see a new renovation at McDonald's, which is also energy efficient.
It's been going very well. You know, the kids love the new play place. Exactly. We're just having a really good time with the new remodel and love all the customers.
Tell me some more details on the remodel. I know that we have 2 drive-through areas.
Oh yes, we did install another drive-through, so now we have 2 double drive-throughs to make it more efficient for customers to come and order. So, you know, it's quicker, it's faster, so
the play place, the kids are going wild.
Oh, the play place, I love it, yeah. So we also do birthday parties, so, you know, come and ask us about the birthday parties. We've got really good deals on them, so really good.
And I know that we're at McTeacher's Night, and it is just hopping in here.
Oh yeah, J.G. Johnson does an outstanding job with their Teacher's Night, and I'm really glad that they're here doing it. We're loving it.
So what's do we have any new items going on here?
Yes, we actually started the new frozen strawberry lemonade, and the Asian salad is back for a limited time till September or October.
So perfect for summertime.
Perfect for summer. The strawberry lemonade is awesome, so I'll make sure that you guys get some.
And I know that some of the play place is just and the remodel in here is just perfect for, like you said, birthday parties.
For birthday parties and for toddlers and kids. We made it more kid-friendly for little kids, so I mean, it's awesome.
And wonderful. I heard about the metal that you have on the outside is helping energy efficiency.
Yes, the new metal that we put all around the outside of the play place is more energy sufficient, so it blocks the sun, so it doesn't get too hot in here and around the store as well.
And so, did you also go with that throughout the whole facility when you did the remodel as energy efficiency?
We tried to make it as much energy efficient as we could.
Exactly. And so, everybody come on down to McDonald's, and of course, we'll find out what J.G. Johnson's take is on this McTeacher's Night at the end of the evening.
At the end of the evening, we should know approximately at the end of the evening. If not, tomorrow for sure.
And other schools, if they're interested in doing this?
Any school, if they're interested, to come in and talk to me. My name is Michael Holder, the general manager.
The U.S. Legends dirt track race cars have now made their way to the Pahrump Valley Speedway. We find out more about these popular cars you can see at this weekend's races beginning at 7 on Saturday night.
It's a U.S. Legend Dirt Modified. We started building them in Charlotte, North Carolina last year. These are the first set of cars that we have out here, and we brought 3 of them out to Pahrump Valley Speedway tonight, and we're having a blast.
Tell me what this car consists of. Why is it different?
Well, it was handcrafted. It was made with everything that Ray Everham ever wanted to have in a race car. He developed it for Bruton Smith with a specific idea of running on dirt. And the car is, from top to bottom, nothing else is out there that's like it. It's just an amazing piece of machinery. It has 140 horsepower, weighs 1,000 pounds, and gives the driver a real feel all the way around the track at an affordable price. You know, a lot of cars, you go out there, and we were talking with some other guys, this car is $17,000. And as one person said to me, he goes, well, that was the cost of my motor. So it's affordable racing that everybody can get into.
Are we going to be seeing this out here on Pahrump Valley Speedway regularly?
We're going to be out here on a regular basis. We're going to be out here doing test drives with people, getting different people into the cars, selling new cars, and we're really looking forward to growing the class out here.
I know we had NASCAR driver Taylor Barton running one of them today. How do you like it?
It seems like he loved it. He was all smiles when I just spoke to him. So we're going to see what he can do in the main event, and he really enjoyed it.
So for more information on US Legends cars, where can they go?
www.uslegendcars.com.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for speaking with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Great to be out here.
The first annual May West Fest at the Pahrump Nugget was lots of fun. We caught up with organizer Marna Kraus.
Today the weather's not cooperating so much, the wind's pretty bad, but most of our vendors left. But I have to tell you, we had a great line of vendors here, a lot of high quality items, so I hope they come back. The poker run wasn't quite what we were expecting, but everybody had a good time, and we had a good time yesterday. Lots of kids activities, and the kids had a blast. Today, I'm not sure how many cars and bikes we have. We have several. We're still, in the middle of the show, and we haven't had time to tally stuff up. But I'd say there's probably close to 60, maybe 70 cars. So everybody's having a good time. We've got over 100 raffle tickets, which they're in the middle of giving some of those out now. So it's a Pahrump Fair and Festival, which, as you know, is our fall festival, so to speak, is September 29th to October 2nd. And this is a different event that they're putting on to try to raise money to go to our fairground building fund, so that when and if we get the fairgrounds approved and a spot for it and everything, we will have a few dollars to get it going.
Wonderful. And if people want to donate to that, can they?
Oh, sure, we'll take donations. We have a website, which is pretty simple. It's PahrumpFairandFestival.com. And it's all spelled out. You can go to the website, you can get all the contact information, you can get information about the fair coming up, and you can give us a call or email us, and we'll be glad to accept donations. Yes, we're looking for sponsors for different events for the fair. Be glad to advertise for them, and please give us a call and help us out.
Thanks so much. And that does it for this edition of Weekend Review. This weekend's events are, of course, the Relay for Life. It begins at noon on Saturday and ends at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. And that's at Petrick Park on Highway 160 and Basin. The Pahrump Valley Speedways races begin at 7 p.m. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.